From that, 2 further cache locations have been found. We have J2 stressed that they're trying to move the weapons in the next 36 hours, and therefore we'll be moving tonight to prevent that movement.
Welcome back to London. Welcome to our first ever behind the scenes video. You've probably seen already some of the content that we made in Gibraltar, and this is our last video on that. And we thought it would just be useful to see behind the scenes of how we make these videos and some of the thinking processes, the thought processes that go behind them. So Matt, you've put together a little sort of quick montage and some scenes that you wanted to chat through.
So this is day 4 of filming. It's 3:30 in the morning and we're just about to film a dawn assault on a fortified position. I'm just about to jump on a rib with the Royal Marines and our RV with Simon on the beach, where they'll be then attacking up the cliffs.
Commandos have just landed in this bay and they're going to make their way up the cliff for an attack on the enemy position.
When Simon disappeared to go to the other side of the town, I was waiting with my third stack. I had the night vision camera in one hand, the C300 in the other hand. The boats turned up, we waded in, and I had to climb a ladder, but I had a camera in each hand because I'm trying to film the first person perspective of the bloke in front of me. And in the process of doing that, I knocked the lens cap off the C300 camera. That went into the ocean somewhere.
So if anyone sees it in Gibraltar, then you know, the address is in the description.
Send it back to us. But yeah, got on the boat and it was like, right, you know, you kind of put your helmet on, get seated. Now these boats are fast and I haven't been on one of these boats for a long time. So I was trying to capture as much as I could at the beginning with it nice and calm, but those shots weren't very interesting, hence they're not featured in the video. But as we kind of throttled out of the bay to go into the open ocean, I was filming with 2 cameras. And I had the C300 just kind of like wedged against my chest and the night vision camera here, just hoping I was getting the shots. If you've been on one of these ribs before, you know what it's like, just getting salt water in your eyes, you can't really see much. The blokes behind you that are driving it, they're having a great time, they're just hammering it. So yeah, really, really nails the film. When we get off the boat, there's a quick kind of succession where everyone dumps the life jackets, puts them back in the boat, camera straps around me, and it's like, we need your life jacket now. Yeah, it gets quite kind of like, calm down, think, compose yourself, unravel yourself in an orderly fashion so you don't end up like camera straps twisting around your arms and whatnot. So moving on to filming in the tunnels, if we talk about the first H-hour video, we actually shot that over a period of 3 nights.
Yeah, I think people might not realise that although these videos are quite short, sometimes you need to actually have multiple days to get those elements. Because we didn't want to be too close to the Marines and we didn't want to affect their training, it meant that we'd have to pick spots to be. We'd have to look at the itinerary and think, okay, this day we can get the boat shots, or this day we can get some of the tunnel stuff, or on the final day we can get like the final objective in the tunnel. But then all that comes together just to be one sort of short video.
And the issues that we kind of faced in the tunnels were you just couldn't move around. So it was all about that pre-planning, positioning yourselves to get the shot. And one of the difficult things was the guys using different tactics that we're not used to. We film in the military quite a lot. You can kind of work out what the next stage will be, but the tactics these guys are using, are completely unpredictable. So we had to use the night vision camera quite a lot in the tunnels.
But even it couldn't cope with how dark it got.
No.
Some of those tunnel sections, there's just no ambient light, and once you go in there, that was it. It was just, I mean, we've probably got some footage of that night vision trying and failing to see anything.
Yeah, so the way kind of night vision works is it does rely on ambient light of some sort.
Like moonlight or stars.
And if you don't have that, you need to rely on IR lights. The trouble is with IR lights is that, you know, they
the enemy can see it effectively, so we'd be lighting up the Marines, we couldn't use that. This sequence is my favourite stuff that we filmed, was just seeing the Commandos walking through a town that's open, hasn't been shut. That for me was my favourite bit. We knew that because we couldn't move around, because we're at the back, we'd want one of us to be at the top so we can see the front, so we can see them coming up through town. So we did a recce of it. We chose some of the points we wanted to film, like there's this amazing octopus painted on the wall that was worth being one of the static locations. And then we just divided ourselves up. So I had the Canon R5 on a gimbal and I was following, but I couldn't get that close, and you couldn't really get ahead of people because by the time you've ran ahead for that one shot, you've made a hell of a racket, and like, it's not helping them be tactical, and all you get is like a 2-second shot. So I was just at the back the whole time, trying to get whatever shots I could. And I thought I had the hard job. We talked about it beforehand, that there's a bit of ascent, you're going to be walking up. I thought they're going to be going quick, and this is going to be hard work. And it was still pretty warm, even though it was quite late in the year. But it turned out you had the much worse job, which we thought was just going to be like, all you do is sit at the top and wait.
So I knew where Simon was the whole time for this sequence, because we'd shared each other's locations on WhatsApp, live locations.
Oh, yeah.
We had found 2 kind of like predetermined locations where I was going to get 2 shots of them walking up the hill.
And where I am on WhatsApp, actually, the point man's quite a bit further ahead, because I'm right at the back.
I didn't really consider that first, so I made it down to the location, and the guys came out in the dark along the street probably about a minute later. I obviously can't hang around for long because I've got to go and get the next shot, and then I've got another 1 minute sprint up the other stairway without them seeing me.
Okay, so I did make it up the hill in the end with the Marines. They got to the tunnel entrance. They went in, and Matt was already in there waiting with the night vision camera, so he's in there getting some action there. From my point of view, climbing up all those steps uphill with the camera, quite difficult to get the shots you want when you are dripping with sweat.
So this is our last day of filming, and just going to quickly show you the setup we've got, the lighting setup. So we're using these MC RGB lights. So this is obviously simulating a faulty bulb. So we just pop that on top of a doorway, and then moving into the next room of the shoot, we've got another MC light, just giving that green. And what this is going to do,
Simulating one of these, but a bit more light than what this gives off.
Exactly. So the scene we're kind of working with is the guys will assault this room that we're in from the corner, throw in some flashbangs, and then the plan is to use the smoke from those flashbangs to kind of fill the room with nice lighting. And the guys will just come through here, throw a throwbot through the door, and the transition will just follow the lads stacked up along this wall as the throwbot gets thrown into this room, and that's pretty much it.
And we're having to do this really because we didn't manage to capture much of the throwbot being used because it's so dark. So we're taking this opportunity just to film the throwbot in use.
Some sort of light.
Some sort of light, yeah. So it's a bit fake, but it's just to show that new technology.
Everything we've been filming throughout the entire week has been kind of like organic. Nothing we do is staged. We got to a point where we hadn't been in the right place at the right time to capture them using the kit. Because most of the time we're having to be kind of at the back or at a distance from them.
The guys probably using that throwbot, for example, they're right in the front, whereas we're at the back. So we just never saw it happen.
So in order for us to tell the story of the Future Commando Force and talk about the kit, we set up these few stage shots, which we did right at the end of the week. And these guys are really nice, weren't they? Just to kind of give 5 minutes of their time.
But that's still a big ask at the end of like a week's long exercise where they've just been grafting.
We just pulled kind of everything out of bags that we could use to dress a set and light it.
My favourite one's the broken light bulb that was used in the corridor.
That was quite effective, wasn't it? The torches, that was actually really difficult to shoot. But the autofocus on, it didn't like the flash understandably, but we didn't have the time to reshoot something in manual focus because it could probably take a few attempts to get it right.
Well, I think that's it. I mean, hopefully enjoyable or useful in some way. We've got lots of big plans for other trips, but obviously at the moment with different lockdowns and with COVID-19, we haven't been able to get out and do as many of these sorts of shoots as we want to, but there's plans to do a lot more. And in the meantime, if you haven't seen any of that Gib content, then yeah, click the links. There'll be links at the end of the video. Yeah.
Cheers for
Until
watching.
then, thanks for watching.